welcome once again to the News That Broke Glass, episode 12, I think. This was meant to, as I said last week, this is meant to be out on a Thursday, but it's not. So I've changed the formatting again, so fuck knows, who knows. It's difficult going from not working and being on furlough for months and then working 9 days in a row. But hey ho, here we are, Deathmatch news. Lots of fucking news. You wouldn't think there'd be so much news. When I thought about doing this, I was like, yeah, I'll do a weekly sort of roundup of the news. And every week you think there might not be that much news, but there always is. There's always fucking loads and loads of fucking news because it's the summer of fucking blood and the summer of fucking violence. So, we'll start off with GCW as always. TOS 6 has now got the final 4 entrants. I put in Alex Cologne in the last video because that came up while I was editing, like stuff normally does. So we've got Alex Cologne. We've got one called Manders, Akis Kogar, who's my pick to win the tournament, and we've got G Raver. And they are joining, if I can remember, Nolan Edward, Bam Sullivan, Effie, and I cannot remember who the last guy is. Orrin Vite, there we go. So, aside from Alex Cologne, who's obviously going to try and three-peat, which is a silly word in itself, who's going to try and win 3 times the tournament, which he could potentially do. I'd like to see him against Akis Kogar in the final, or Nolan Edward against Kogar in the final. But aside from Cologne and G Raver, well, this I had to look this up. G Raver and Orrin Vite have only ever been in one tournament of survival before, which is number 4, which I went to in 2019. Aside from Alex Cologne, G Raver, and Orrin Vite, everybody else, and Akis Kogar was in the one TOS 5. Everybody else is new. This is their first tournament, so it was really, really good. GCW are giving all these guys like a good showing, because usually when you get lots of new, fresh, young fucking blood, they'll fucking kill themselves. They will kill themselves. And TOS is, for me in the deathmatch community, is probably one of the biggest weekends and shows of the year. The only thing I will say for that is, good for all these guys. I've seen one called Manders. I've seen all these guys do death matches. I've seen one called Manders do stuff at No Peace Underground. Obviously, Nolan Edwards fantastic. Orrin Vite's fucking great. Effie's amazing. So it'll be really good for them all. But as I say, my pick for the finals would be Akis Kogar against Cologne. I hope it would be Akis Kogar against Edward, but it'll probably be against Cologne, and I want Kogar to win. But saying that, with all these new people being in it, and it's only a field of 8 for TOS. We've got no Schlack. Nick Gage is announced for the show, but he's not in the tournament. So no Schlack, no Gage, no Eric Ryan, and no AJ Gray. So that's 4 people that I would have put in the tournament, as opposed to people like FA, Vite, Manders. You know what I mean? But hey ho. Just strange for there to be no Schlack and no Eric Ryan in it. But who knows what will happen? It'll still be fucking good anyway. And we've got some new matches announced for Zombie Walk. Dickinson against Starboy Charlie. Poor Starboy, Dickinson's going to fucking kill him. This is the day after, on June 6th, by the way, at the Showboat. The day after TOS 6. And we've also got Tony Deppen against Jack Cartwheel. And Jack Cartwheel was really, really good at Draft Day. I've actually rewatched Draft Day now. I'm in the process of making a highlight video thing for Draft Day that'll be up this weekend. Trying to do lots of stuff while working all the times. Not easy, but fuck, who cares? Also, GCW is going to be in Texas. As I mentioned before, we've got the names for the shows now. In Houston on July the 9th, 8 PM, it's Fight Club. Don't mention it. At the Premier Sports Arena in Houston, Texas. And it's going to be GCW against Loco Wrestling. I don't know too much about Loco Wrestling, but I know that Ruben Steele works for them, so I assume they're fucking good. I'll need to do up a lot of looking, because there's a Ruben Steele sort of local wrestling show, or a sort of deathmatch show that's coming up in June that I'll cover in a greater detail next week. But they've got Dan Math against Sadika and everything, so it looks fucking sick. But anyway, so GCW's against 4, I always want to say 4 local, but sorry, GCW against Local Wrestling. But the main event for that show is Sadika versus Nick Gage for the world title. So GCW jumping on the ICW Sadika bandwagon, so it seems. And then they're hosting the day after on July 10th, 8 PM. This is in Dallas, Texas, at the Irving Arena. They're hosting a show called You Only Die Once. And Nick Gage has been announced for that, and I believe Joey Janela has been announced for that too. I'm just going to check my phone because there's a massive list of GCW shows now that have been announced. Where are we? So, this will be up here. So we've got the Showboat Atlantic City stuff for TOS, that's June. Then we've got the Laramie, Wyoming one, that's June 19th. JCW, Ricky Shane Page's new company. I still don't understand that they've like, haha, Ricky Shane Page, haha, you've been pushed down to JCW. Haha, that's a shit company. When they're trying to rebrand and push this new company, it seems stupid. Anyway, Backyard Wrestling's on July 4th. The two Texas shows, July 9th and 10th. So then we've got Mexico Zona 23 on July 19th. I said previously that the Laramie show was in July, but it's not, it's in June. So hey ho. But that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shows in July GCW's running. Fucking hell. And then they're back in Atlantic City for July 24th and 25th, which is the homecoming shows. Then August 7th they're in Los Angeles again. And August 21st to be announced. Who knows? I assume one of these shows will be the John Moxley Nick Gage match that everybody's anticipating. And then September they're back in Chicago. The Chicago shows are always fucking good. Like the NGI 4. What else did they do? The last one's left. NGI 3. Always good when they go to Chicago. And then so that's September 3rd and 4th. My birthday weekend, and September 17th they're in Los Angeles again, so it's like 17 fucking JCW shows, GCW shows running. There's so much wrestling, so much fucking GCW stuff, my god. I remember when companies just ran once a month, fuck's sake. Now we'll move on to talking about Drake Younger, who was released by WWE for cost cutting measures or his beliefs, or I won't get into his beliefs or his political point of views or whatever. But he was released by WWE under not so very good circumstances, and everybody sort of thinks he's a bit of a dick, and a lot of people don't like him, but he has been sacked by WWE, and he is now going to be doing his return to the ring on June 26th at a show called Takedown Trafficking. Drake Younger's very anti-child trafficking, as I assume most people are, in Orlando, Florida. And also Loki and Matt Morgan are at that show. It says that there's a meet and greet for Loki and Matt Morgan, so I don't know if they're just doing a meet and greet or if they're also at the show. But I will say it's a sad state of affairs for Drake Younger, who, when 2006, 2007, a lot of people want to talk about Matt Tremont put Deathmatch Wrestling on his back when Matt Tremont came in, so that would have been 2010, 2011, into 12, 13, 14, and he did. Matt Tremont did put Deathmatch Wrestling on his back, but back in 2007, Drake Younger put Deathmatch Wrestling on his back, and he carried fucking CZW. He carried that company, and he put on some amazing matches with him against Danny Havoc and Brain Damage and Scotty Vortex and Nick Gage, and it was Drake Younger. There's so many. Any sort of deathmatch fan who like doesn't agree with him or the way he's turned out, he used to be a sort of he was a drug addict, I think, and then he found God, and then he moved, and it was all happy, and he moved to WWE and became a referee, and then now he's been sacked and he seems a bit mental. But I will say that no matter what Drake Younger says or does now, the stuff he did, the tournaments of death, the death matches and stuff he did for us fans back in the day was insane. So I'll always love Drake Younger for that, but as a person now he seems like he needs some help. But hey ho. Now we move on to ICW No Holds Barred, with just some more updates. Like every week we've got updates for Boardwalk Buds. I'll just go over the first things. On last Tuesday, or whenever it was, ICW's merchandise club thing there's a link in the description if you want to join that. They do auctions and bids and fire sales and Facebook Live sales and stuff for merchandise. And it's not just ICW merchandise, Deathmatch merchandise, FMW, IWA, fucking old CZW stuff, old Japanese stuff. And I won a Jun Kasai autobiography and a signed Masashi Takeda hat, like a flat cap hat thing. But on that show, they had Sid Vicious's there was the Saturday night main event where he's tagging with Hulk Hogan, I think in 1991. Would have been just before WrestleMania 8 for the Hogan-Sid match. And the one where Sid jumps down off the apron where Hogan goes to tag him. He's wearing red trunks. So Danny DeManto had those red trunks and sold them on that live auction. I can't remember how much money they went for, but they went for about $900 or something like that. And he sold another pair of like black trunks. He had a Halloween Havoc 1991 or 1990 when he was against Sting, and they sold a Sid Vicious like jacket, ring-worn jacket from ECW. All this like Sid merchandise was sold to this collector on this thing. But anyway, there was also some Nightmare Freddy, who was a guy in like old IWA, I assume FMW as well. It was Doug Gilbert. So at Boardwalk Buds, just because they were selling all this merchandise for them, these collectors of like proper very significant moments in wrestling history, Sid Vicious and Nightmare Freddy, who's Doug Gilbert, are going to be at Boardwalk Buds for a sign and meet and greet on, this is going to be on Saturday 26th, between 1 PM and 4 PM. So if you want to see Sid and fucking Nightmare Freddy, fucking go along to Boardwalk Buds. If I was able to fucking get to America, I'd be fucking going to that as well. And then right after that, on the Saturday, I believe we have at 4 PM is the Pit. Anyway, so we've got that, and then there's some more matches announced for PFX 7. We've got Akira, who is going to have a very fucking busy weekend, is going to be fighting Reed Bentley. So over the weekend, he's going to fight Reed Bentley, then Homicide, then John Wayne Murdoch. So he's going to be feeling pretty fucking shit by Monday. And then for PFX 8, which is on the Sunday, we've got 2 matches announced. We've got Kimber Lee. Quite good to see Kimber Lee do it. I quite like Kimber Lee. I've not seen her for a long time, since Chikara. It's against a woman I've never heard of, which is it Masla Slamovic? Who knows? Never heard of her before, but she's against Kimber Lee in Pit Fighter 8. And Max the Impaler is also fighting Brandon Kirk at Pit Fighter 8. So Boardwalk Buds, every week there's new stuff all the time. And also for ICW Indianapolis, we've got announcements for both the shows. On the Friday 9th of July show at the Marion County Fairgrounds and Event Centre, we've got Calvin Tankman against Justin Kyle in one-on-one action, so that'll be a fucking big fucking hoss fight. And Saturday, this might be the best match of the weekend for me personally, on July 10th at the Marion County Fairgrounds and Event Centre, a 4-way home run derby death match. Tank with the fucking Rev, Schlack, Satu Jin and Casanova Valentine. Those four, a 4-way home run derby death match. That'll be fucking awesome. And there's a promo for the Georgia wrestling thing where Tank's going to be fighting Insane Lane in that no-rope barbed wire match that's coming up soon. And the Rev cut a fucking awesome promo. It's like a 2-3 minute promo talking about barbed wire and how it was used to like keep cattle in, and then we used it for maiming human beings and everything. I'll try and find it and put it up in the description. Fucking great promo. So that's the ICW news. Good shit. That 4-way is going to be so fucking cool. I can't wait. It's 4 massive guys just beating the shit out of each other with thumbtack bats and all sorts of shit and water jugs. And now we will move on to some reviews of the shows that happened last weekend. If I can find the notes on my phone. So on the Friday, we had No Peace Underground's Rewiring the Human Body, which was at the Soundbar in Orlando, Florida. And we'll just go through they had a dark match, dark no ring death match, which I think was on YouTube. I watched it, I can't remember, I saw something, I watched the match, can't remember what it was on, which Herzog got beat by Beastly, which is a shame, good match. I'd rather Herzog won, because I really like Herzog. He's a very interesting, funny character, and I'd like to see him in a lot more places, certainly ICW and Olds Barred. Then Paro destroyed Austin Luke, Reed Walker and Ryan Redfield, H2O students. That was a good fucking match. Paro just destroyed them, threw them about, there was a ladder, there was throwing them off the stage, power bombing them into light tubes, just launching the little kids about, throwing one into the crowd area and stuff. Paro won with greetings from Asbury Park, and then these guys that came dancing around and they gave fans tickets and stuff, and then Effie came up on the screen and basically said that he's going to fucking fight Paro in June, and I can't remember the name of the date, but I'll put it up here. So basically the next show, well maybe not the next show, but whatever show it's going to be Effie against Paro in a no-ring death match. So that'll be fucking awesome. And I've used in a highlight video for the match that Paro just had for the handicap match. I used Gay Bar Part 2, and for the FE1 that he's going to be against Paro, I'm going to use Gay Bar, the original Gay Bar by Electric 6. Next we had Ty Hill beat Jimmy Lloyd and Lucky. Jimmy Lloyd had just appeared to make a 3-way. Good match. Lucky's so, like, good. Just the flips and the dives, he's so, like, energetic and just so much, like, creative, like, flippy offense. He's really, really good. There's some panes of glass. Ty Hill did a Canadian destroyer to Jimmy Lloyd through a pane of glass. Jimmy Lloyd just kind of appeared randomly, so it was good to see him. 3-way, good match. Ornvite defeats Colby Carino. Match was okay. Probably, I didn't really, wasn't my favourite match of the night. It was good though, by any means. There wasn't a bad match in the show. There never usually is. It was all right. And then the next match was the match of the night. Neil Diamond Cutter, the Honey Badger, got his new T-shirt from Deathmatch Worldwide. Neil Diamond Cutter came out, cut a promo, basically saying that if he loses his next match in No Peace, he was going to be gone from No Peace forever, and he was going to wrestle Alex fucking Ocean. And this was the best match of both shows of the weekend that I'm going to talk about. It was fucking awesome, just light tubes, and it was just fucking brutal and violent, and it's in the highlights thing if you just watch it on the channel. Fucking good shit. And Neil Diamond Cutter finally won with a Falcon Arrow off the stage, through a guardrail, set up on chairs with the light tubes all over the top of it. Sick bump. Alex Ocean and Neil Diamond Cutter are two of the fucking best deathmatch wrestlers in America, and they need to be appreciated a little bit more, I think. Love Alex Ocean, love Neil Diamond Cutter. And this is a bold prediction, but I would say that Neil Diamond Cutter, I would like to see maybe him be the man to finally take the Deathmatch American Championship off John Wayne Murdoch. Well, however long he holds it for, it could be for fucking years. He's John Wayne Murdoch, you know what I mean? Then next we had G Raver beat Sonico. Sonico, a guy I'd never seen before. This match was okay. It's weird that the two best matches of the weekend between No Peace Underground and H2O, the two best matches are the ones that featured light tubes the most heavily. Who would have thought? But G Raver beat Sonico. Sonico I'd never seen before. I like him. He's good. Lucha guy with a mask on. G Raver put the tattoo needles in him and gave him the Meteora off the stage to the door. I mean, that and the Ornvite Colby Carino match are probably my two least favourite matches of the night. And the main event wasn't, but they're okay for what they were. That's Sonico. I want to see him back. It's decent. And then Atticus Kogar destroyed Casanova Valentine in a bloody brutal. He just battered him with light tubes, destroyed him with light tubes. There was a bit when they went outside. Atticus Kogar got like a bucket of like crap poured on his head and a trash can of garbage thrown on him outside. And they went back into the soundbar. Cass like threw him back into the soundbar, and they'd set up a contraption of like tubes and boards and skewers and all sorts of shit. And it was just so many light tubes. There's a big bin of light tubes, and Atticus Kogar was battering Cass and hitting him. And Marcus Crane's old manager was in the crowd, and Atticus Kogar cut a promo on her, dragged her, was going to throw her through the big contraption thing. There was a really nice belly-to-belly suplex, by the way. Cass gave Atticus Kogar belly-to-belly suplex. One of the few bits of offense Cass got in that match, through a pane of glass, which was sick. And then Atticus Kogar was going to give the girl, whose name I forget, a DVD or something through it. Cass stopped him, and then Cass got thrown through it. Atticus Kogar won, and then he skewered the girl in the head and super kicked her. Good fucking times. Atticus Kogar is one of the best heels, one of the best wrestlers on the scene these days. And then the main event was Eric Ryan against Zicky Dice, which was alright. Wasn't anything to write home about. It was okay. Eric Ryan won. Relatively short match. Gave him the snuff stomp and kept his title, and that was it. Really good show though. The two best matches are the light chip heavy matches: Cass against Atticus and Neil Diamond Cutter against Alex Ocean. But I would highly recommend checking out the show. Now to move on to the Saturday, which was the 22nd of May. Hardcore Kingdom, H2O hosted at the H2O Event Centre. Good tournament. Not my favourite H2O show by any means, but it was really good. I mean, this is going to sound really sad and marky, but like I said for the last No Peace thing, there's a distinct lack of light tubes and glass. But hey, for what it was, for being a deathmatch fan, you're so used to seeing light tubes. But I will say this about H2O: they make very, very good use when they don't use light tubes. They do save the light tubes for big special events like Tremont RSP, so I can understand them for that. So first round match, Atticus Kogar beat Homicide. Homicide was the surprise man. Decent match. I don't even think they used any weapons whatsoever really. Atticus, maybe like a fork. That was about it. Kogar won, and then he was attacking Homicide afterwards. Louis Ramos came out. Next match, Declan Grant beat Devin Moore. Probably second best first round match. Devin Moore still got it. I still like Devin Moore. Later on, I'll talk about the main event. Devin Moore's still awesome. I've always liked Devin Moore. Next match, probably the best first round match. Kennedy Copeland beat Mickey Knuckles. These two women fucking beat the fuck out of each other. It was like a power bomb. Mickey Knuckles gave her a power bomb on the outside through a door, and they're smacking the shit out of each other. And I think Mickey Knuckles went to give Kennedy Copeland like a sort of Death Valley Driver type thing onto like the part of the car door that was wheeled in for the G-Raver RSP match, and Kennedy Copeland rolled her up and won. I was like, holy shit. So all the veterans, they made a point of saying that on commentary, the veterans were beating, the rookies were beating the veterans. Like Atticus beat Homicide, Declan Grant beat Devin Moore, Kennedy Copeland beat Mickey Knuckles, pushing the young blood, you know. And then Eric Ryan beat Jimmy Lyon. At the start of the match, he was like throwing Jimmy Lyon out the thing. He was already attacked him backstage. And Alex Colon turned up and made it a three-way fucking dance. Awesome to see Alex Colon anywhere. I mean, I don't think anyone's seen him anywhere since Planet Death. When he got the GCW Ultraviolent title. That match was good too. It was kind of ended in a funny way where like Eric Ryan was giving Jimmy Lyon the snuff stomp, and it was done by referee stoppage, but Jimmy Lyon's also saying that he didn't quit. So, and then Alex Colon basically said to Jimmy Lyon that me and you are going to fight. So maybe that'll be next month. So Eric Ryan advances, so Jimmy Lyon loses like every match, but he's always great. If that makes sense, like he's always awesome, he always looks good in defeat. I just want him to win something. I don't think he's going to fucking beat Alex Colon, but I want him to win something. The next match was good. It was a thumbtack deathmatch 4-way. Jeff Cannonball beat Austin Luke and Marcus Mathers and Mitch Vallon to retain his Danny Havoc hardcore title. Lots of thumbtacks involved, but even the crowd were chanting that the thumbtacks were kind of shit. Like the thumbtacks weren't really like... I assume they fucking hurt, and they were cutting people up and leaving a mark and stuff, but they weren't sticking in. Because that's what the desired effect is, for them to be all covered in thumbtacks. But still, match was really good. The two young guys, Austin looks awesome. Marcus Mathers is a fucking star of the future. Like, he's great. And Jeff Cannonball gave him like a sort of overhead throw off the ropes, like through two chairs covered in thumbtacks. That looked fucking sick. Yeah, that match was pretty good. And then Mouse beat Bam Sullivan, but Bam Sullivan is now a heel. And he is fucking great. Bam Sullivan's awesome. He is one of my favourite new guys. I'd like to see him do well in Tournament of Survival. I don't think he's going to win, but Bam Sullivan, being a heel, being a dick to Mouse. And now Casanova Valentine ran down to help Bam Sullivan, and Aidan Beale came down to attack Cass. So now it seems that Bam Sullivan and Casanova Valentine are a tag team. So fuck yeah, I love both those guys, so that's fucking awesome. And then we had the semi-main event, which was probably my favourite match of the night. Chuck Payne beat Lucky 13. Just Lucky, the little guy, doing all the flips and dives. Chuck Payne, the big guy, with slams and everything. Awesome match. Awesome match. I was thinking that Lucky might win at one point, but no, Chuck Payne beat him with, I think he beat him with like a Falcon Arrow type thing. Lots of Falcon Arrows this weekend. I noticed that. Sonico did one to G-Raver too near the end of that match. Lots of Falcon Arrows. It's a popular move. Then in the finals, Declan Grant wins the Hardcore Kingdom. So it was like a 4-way elimination thing with like doors. Kennedy Copeland, Atticus Kogar, Eric Ryan, Declan Grant. Kennedy Copeland I think was out first. Then Eric Ryan got eliminated. And then when it was the final two, which is Kogar and Grant, they had to climb a ladder up in the corner of the event centre and try and get the trophy from the top. And Atticus Kogar nearly got it, Declan Grant got it, held up his trophy, and the 2 seconds after he had his trophy up, RSP hit him with a fucking chair. Everybody said that RSP wasn't in the build. No, he's not in the build. No, it's just Kogar and Ryan, but obviously it's a lie. Earlier on in the show, he attacked him, hit him with a chair. Earlier on in the show, Jeff Cannibal's Danny Havoc title went missing. He ran to the back and couldn't find his belt. But it turns out that Bobby Beverly and Gregory Irons and 440 had stolen the Danny Havoc Hardcore title. And RSP sat up on top of the scaffold thing and cut a promo on everybody. He said to Devin Moore, which is a fucking shocking heel line, basically insinuating that Devin Moore should have died instead of Danny Havoc. And everybody was like, oh my god, what a fucking heel. RSP's awesome, he's such a good heel. And he fucking threw Devin Moore off that scaffolding through a sheet of glass that was placed in the ring. What a fucking bump. Devin Moore can still fucking go. And basically said to Chuck Payne that he looks like a man with an airbrush cane mask on, which got a laugh out of me. And so next month at the Deathiversary, it's going to be all of 440 are going to be challenging for all of the H2O championships. And so far I think it's going to be Gregory Iron against Mouse, and it's going to be RSP against Chuck Payne. And I assume, because Atticus Kogar held up the Danny Havoc belt, will be him against Jeff Cannonball. So, I mean, those matches look fucking awesome so far. So it's great show. To me, personally, I prefer a little bit more glass. But I'm a stupid, sad deathmatch mark. So it was a good show. Highly recommend watching it. Best match was Chuck Payne against Lucky. And of those 2 shows of the weekend, best 3 matches. Number 3, Chuck Payne against Lucky. Number 2, Cassino Valentine against Atticus Kogar and Opie's Underground. And number 1, Neil fucking Diamond Cutter against Alex Ocean. So that's the reviews from last weekend's shows, and hopefully by the time this video comes out, Southern Sickness Cup will be up on Smart Mark Video and I can fucking review that. And to move on to a little bit of UK news, the Rise Outlaw Cup, which is on September 3rd, the day before my birthday, announced some new tickets for their leads for the show at the Eager Studios, and I've picked up 2 for me and my girlfriend to actually go, so this will be the first live deathmatch show that we'll have been to bloody hell since, because we were planning to go to the Games of Death 2. We couldn't go to that. So this will be the first wrestling show we've been to since before the pandemic. So that'll be fucking good. Deathmatch show or a small deathmatch tournament. So we're hi Nelly. You coming up? Also some other news from the world of wrestling. Zona 23 run show, which I think was on May 23rd, and Aero Boy is now the new champion, beating Medio Extremo. So with GCW going down to the junkyard, maybe Medio Extremo and Cyclope will lose those titles. Or maybe they'll keep those titles like they did in Japan. And moving on to Japan, today, which is the 27th of May, this morning, in Japan, Takeda and Violento Jack beat Kasai and Segura. So ERE fucking won that match. According to Steven Ayy, he was at the show and posted on Facebook, and he said it's one of the best 5 matches he's ever seen. So that guy knows his fucking shit about deathmatch wrestling, so I cannot fucking wait to watch that. And also on this show, which was at the Shin Kiba First Ring, the same, I was just used the example, the show that GCW ran their Japanese tours in Tokyo. Also the ERE of Yuki and Sakura beat Fujita and Yuna Yamashita for the tag team titles of Freedom. So ERE beat the champion and Jun Kasai, and they're the tag team champions now. Fuck yeah. And hopefully Danny DeManto or somebody can find me an ERE t-shirt. Now, and also another announcement for Freedom's. Jun Kasai producing the Deathmatch Carnival once again. This is going to be on July 5th of 2021, so fuck yeah. Also on that Facebook Live sale, I did win a Jun Kasai autobiography, but it's in Japanese, so I won't be able to read it. Maybe I should learn Japanese. It'd be beneficial for the commentary, wouldn't it? And we also have stipulations for Big Japan's Deathmatch Survivor final matches. So, I also said Thumbtack Jack there, Jesus Christ, blast from the past. Violento Jack versus Drew Parker is going to be in a Wrestle Violence death match. Whatever that means, I'm not too sure. And Ito against Kamitani is going to be a light tube death match. Good fucking times. And the finals are going to be a no canvas death match. No canvas, they'll pull the ring. I assume at some point they'll pull the boards back, put some glass down and slam people through the fucking ring. Fuck yeah. And moving on to FMWE, Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling Explosion, for their first show on July 4th, which is going to be available everywhere, supposedly online. I've yet to buy tickets to watch the show, the live stream, but I will at some point. The main event double hell death match has now got some competitors. So it's going to be Minoru Fujita, Ricky Fuji, and Onita. The three-man team are going to be fighting Abdullah Kobayashi and two unnamed people so far. So we've got Onita's team's picked, Abdullah Kobayashi's team's only got him on it so far. And the stipulation for this match, the double ring, hell, exploding tables, no barbed wire, exploding time bomb death match. If Onita loses, he will have to blow up his trademark rider's jacket. This is the stipulation for the match. And if Kobayashi loses, he will have to blow up his motorcycle he uses for commuting about Japan. So, it's fucking Japan, that's fucking crazy. But anyway, that is the news for this week so far. I think maybe at the weekend, CCW, I may watch that. Crimson Crown Wrestling, but who knows, anyway. And remember, as always, no deathmatch, no life. Thank you.